Hi, Facebook and YouTube. Thank you for joining me. If you're joining, this is day 4 of my no sugar day. I have succeeded in not eating sugar today, which I'm pretty proud of because I got quite grumpy this morning, but I'll tell you all about that in a minute. I have 4 things to tell you today because I needed 4 different skills, believe it or not. Well, I know you do believe that because I know you know it's not easy. And I carried on. So I had a really mindful breakfast again. This time I had some form of scrambled eggs and the same as I had yesterday. And I really took my time on it because I enjoyed it so much yesterday. I thought, I've kind of stumbled into something really good here. I'm going to make giving up one thing that I enjoy as pleasurable as possible. So that is my first piece of advice, to make it as pleasurable as you possibly can to give up. And this is my second piece of advice: only one thing at a time. And refined sugar is what it is for me. So make it as simple as possible, make it as pleasurable as possible, and take your time working out how you're going to do that. I think that's covered. Yes. So I also have so that was great. That worked. I got through breakfast really easily. I had thought about the chocolate, but with this pleasure and the novelty of it, I thoroughly enjoyed my breakfast. So I'm like, no, I don't want the chocolate. Another thing that's also helping me is I have a buddy, and I wasn't sure if she's going to give up sugar at the same time as me or not, because we've been talking about it for weeks. And then I suddenly said, look, I'm doing it next week. I can't wait any longer. And she said, okay, I'll try. And last night she informed me that she hasn't eaten sugar this week. So that gave me a boost. That helps somehow to feel like I'm not on my own and I'm not crazy and that somebody else is trying to do this. Because the world will try and tell you that you're crazy for giving up sugar. When I said that that meant alcohol as well, to many of my friends, they're like, what? That's not even possible. Why would you choose not to be happy, is the argument. I have a lot of arguments against that. I think real happiness is probably achieved through not relying on a substance. That's what I'm aiming to prove here. Anyway, so it's nice to have a friend. So that's the third piece of advice. Maybe try and find a friend to do this with. And I'm sure if you don't know anyone in person, there'd be someone else in the group who would like to try something like this, maybe even a minor scaled back version of this. If I can facilitate that, let me know. But so I got through the day thinking that I had a buddy, and then I got a message from a buddy saying, I've just had ice cream. 4th day, ice cream. And it is hot, isn't it? Ice cream would be really nice today. But it didn't make me feel worse. It actually made me feel a little bit self-righteous. I've got to be honest. I felt like I haven't had ice cream today. I didn't need sugar today. I haven't been out though. She's been to the sea. I might have felt differently if I'd been to the beach. So having a buddy, swings and roundabouts. So far, it hasn't made me think, right, I want to give up, because she's given up. So far, it's worked in my favour. And then the last thing I want to tell you about is I got really grumpy this morning. At some point, mid-morning, I got very grumpy because I was in between jobs and I only had enough time to do one thing, but another thing presented itself. Isn't this just typical of life? This is the way life works, right? In this case, it was my cat vomiting. I'm like, couldn't you have just waited until I had a few minutes to deal with this? And so I have to clear it up, I had to feed her, and I was just grumpy about this whole thing. I was hot. I did not want to have to clean something up in the middle of this sweltering heat, trying to cool my house down, which is impossible for everybody in England right now. We are not used to this. Nobody has air conditioning. So I was really grumpy. And of course, I thought of you because I thought, you'll understand. The chocolate came up in my head. It was like, oh, go on, just have some. It'll make you feel better. You're tired. And you haven't got enough time for everything. It'll give you a bit of a boost, and it would give me a little bit of a kick and a lift, so that I would find the miserable task of cleaning up cat vomit in between work, hot, weltering work, a little bit more bearable. I didn't do it. I didn't have the chocolate, although I've got to say the voice in my head was, why not? you know it'll make you happier. It doesn't matter about the group. It doesn't matter about everything that you've promised. It doesn't matter about any of the emotional stuff. You know it would just make you feel better. It was quite a strong voice. But I didn't have it because I got to being really curious. And so this is my fourth offering for you. I became really curious about what it is that I think the chocolate does for me and what it actually really does for me. And it was pretty soon that I realized that it's because I was tired that I wanted it. I thought it would wake me up. But I remember thinking last week, this isn't even waking me up. It just makes me a bit tetchy and fast, which gives me the illusion of waking up a little bit. So I kind of was able to put that one down because I had a reality check. I was just really aware that it wasn't really going to make me feel the thing that I wanted it to make me feel. And so then I surrendered to being tired, because that's when I realized, I'm just tired. In this heat, it's so exhausting. And I don't mind telling you, I hope this isn't too much information, but I also am having my first period in a year, and it's just exhausting. It's just like, wasn't expecting that. Menopause had been kicking my ass for a year, and now I'm back to square one. And hormones, I don't even need to get onto that right now, but I'm sure I will at some point on a podcast. So I was grumpy, I worked through it with reality check, and I surrendered to the feeling that I was trying to ignore and trying to block. And actually, I've got to say that once I'd surrendered to that tiredness and just thought, oh yeah, I don't like being tired. I remember that from last year. I'll just let myself be tired. It's a message. I'm tired. I need some rest. And I was allowed to take the next, I gave myself permission to take the next tasks that I had to do with a much more relaxed attitude. So that's the benefit of staying with what I was really feeling. That's it for 4 things, 4 offerings, taking it slowly, taking one step at a time, taking it simply as possible, making it easy and pleasurable, and just doing one thing. Just give up one thing. Don't diet. For God's sake, don't diet. I can't tell you not to diet. If you want to diet, if that makes you feel safer, that's up to you. But I know it causes a rebellion, which is inbuilt in having comfort foods anyway. So it's just one rebellion to another, which doesn't solve any problem. So those things, plus staying with how you feel, working out what the reality is of what you feel and what you really need. That's enough for today. I hope you're all well, and please do give me a thumbs up if you're watching this, just to let me know that you're watching, and also to publicize it to other people. #replay if you're watching this on the replay. I'd love to know that you're there, and I promise you I won't hound you with any advertising or anything like that. It's just nice to know that this might help somebody in some way. Thank you for listening. I'll be back again tomorrow, earlier tomorrow, because I'm going out tomorrow evening, so I'll be here probably around 5 o'clock. All right, take care, people. I'll see you soon. Bye.